Hi, I'm Chef Frank. This is Protocooks, and today we're making cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers. Today we're gonna make my cheeseburgers, the way that I make them for my family. We have cheeseburgers probably once every month and a half, 2 months. It's not a weekly thing for us. We love cheeseburgers, but we just tend to stay away from them. We have a lot of other things that we make during the week. What I'm going to show you today is how to make a good, simple cheeseburger from great ingredients. And it's not going to be fancy. A lot of people will say, hey chef, that's a fancy burger, just because I grind my own meat. It doesn't make it fancy. The reason I grind my own meat is because then I know exactly what meat is in my burger. I get to pick a nice piece of meat from the supermarket. I get to pick every little part of what I make, and I know that it's a good product. For the most part, when you buy ground beef in the supermarket, it's just a lot of the scraps ground up. So when I grind my own meat, people think it's fancy, but personally, I just think I'm choosing a really nice piece of meat. So if I'm gonna eat a cheeseburger, it's gonna be delicious. Let's talk about what I have here. I have a nice piece of chuck. Chuck has a lot of intramuscular fat, and that's what I want. Fat equals flavor. But it doesn't have enough fat for the burger that I want. So instead of trying to find a really fatty piece of meat, I try and find fat somewhere else. Now, if my supermarket had beef fat, I would buy it and I would grind it in and mix it. But I could only find pork fat, so I'm gonna use pork fat. And most supermarkets have this. If you don't have pork fat, use some bacon. Bacon, burger, delicious, okay? I also use Martin's potato rolls. I think these Martin's potato rolls are great, and they're kind of an industry standard in the world of burgers. And I know that might sound cliche, but I just think they're wonderful. They're a great burger bun. Sliced white onions. If you don't know how to slice an onion, check out my video. It'll probably be right up here. And I show you how to slice an onion. Some dill pickles. Dill pickles, whatever good dill pickle you like. I use a brand called Mount Olive. I think they're delicious. And some white American cheese. If you want yellow American cheese, go for it. I use white American cheese from my deli. I have them slice it for me. I kind of find that the cheese that you get, the like Kraft slices, are okay. I just think this has a better texture and a better flavor. And I know people are gonna ding me on using American cheese, but American cheese is great. It melts great. It has good flavor. It's not overpowering. I think that some people that use like sharper cheeses like cheddar or blue cheese, you don't really taste the meat, and I want to taste the meat. I'm going through the trouble of grinding my own beef, so I want to taste the meat. Now we're gonna grind. A while back, people asked me if my grinder had a name, and a lot of people gave a lot of great suggestions. We've come up with a name. Her name is Petunia. So we're gonna start grinding with Petunia. So what we're gonna feed into Petunia is our pork fat and our beef. Couple of tips or hints when you're grinding to make it a little easier. First thing I do is I cut my meat into strips, not cubes. Cubes, you fumble around and you have to put them in here. If you put it on a strip like this, it drops in and actually feeds itself in. So there's less kind of pushing over here. I like to keep my meat cold. The colder it is, the better. You don't want it frozen, but you can put it in the freezer until what I call crispy, which means that the outside is firm, but the inside is still soft. Let's grind. Okay, go. Oh, look at that good fat. Okay, meat is ground. And now for a brief interlude to talk about ground beef. I'm a chef, so I grind my own meat. I may even raise my own cow. And I like to have that control about what I put into my ground meat. And because I'm a chef, I have my own grinder. I'm equipped to do this. And I understand you might not be able to do this, and you might not have the equipment, and that's fine. You can go to the supermarket and buy your ground beef. There's one thing I like to say about that. Buy ground beef that is at least 80-20. 80% meat, 20% fat. I would even go so far as to say 70-30. And that's good. Any more than that and it kind of leaks out, gets all greasy, right? And what does fat equal? Fat equals flavor, chef. Fat equals flavor, yes. Fat equals flavor. So you want to have enough fat in this so that it has good flavor. Now back to cheeseburgers. Next, we're going to shape our burgers. And for the burgers that I make, I like to do smash burgers. And we'll get into that in a little while. All we really have to do is mix our meat up and form it into a nice ball. One of the biggest mistakes I think people make when they make burgers is someone will tell them, oh, don't work the meat too much. It gets weird or whatever. You have to work your meat. So I get in there and I really work the meat in. I don't want it to get warm, but I want it to be combined. And what this is going to do is it's going to form little pockets. It's almost like an emulsion, almost like a sausage, where it's going to hold the fat in and it's not going to leak out. So you're going to get a nice juicy burger. Of course, get it all over the place, okay? So I work the meat a little together, and then I get myself a nice ball. And I don't like burgers that are huge. I like my burgers to have crispy edges. I like them to be cooked pretty much almost medium well in this method, okay? So I get a burger that's the size of a very small baseball, and I'm gonna work it, okay? I'm gonna just kind of get it in my hands, mix it up, until it kind of like gets a little sticky. Once the outside gets sticky, onto my plate. I ground enough meat for more than 4 burgers. And I do this all the time. If I'm gonna take the grinder out, I'm gonna grind more meat than I need, okay? So I'm only making 4 burgers. The rest of this meat, I can put in the freezer and pack it for another time. So let's get 4 nice burgers. Yeah, look at that. A little sticky on my hands. Ball it up, work it. Okay, ball it up. You can see I have plenty of fat in that burger, and that's what I want. Okay, I'm going by feel. I'm not really going by ounces. They're probably 5 to 6 ounces each. I gotta figure out how many grams that is for all my non-American people. Okay, work it. Okay, good. Next thing we do is cook. I have a special piece of equipment here. Again, I'm a chef. I have special equipment. This is a pancake griddle. I love this thing. This is the second one we've had in about 10 years because they go, you know, they get a little funky after a while. This cost us, I think, 30 bucks. And it's great for making pancakes because you can fit a lot of pancakes on it, but it's also great for making the burgers that I like to make, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is, one thing I forgot to mention in the ingredients is vegetable oil. I'm just gonna sprinkle some vegetable oil down first, okay? I'm gonna take a pinch of onions, a little pinch of onions for every, look, my counter is not flat. That is not good. I'm gonna take a pinch of onions for each burger. I have my griddle or my pancake griddle on about 400 degrees. I put my onions down, and as many onions as you like. You can put more onions, less onions, it doesn't really matter. I'm leaving that there. Hit them with a little oil. Hit them with just a pinch of salt. Now we get our burgers. I pinch a pinch of salt, and this goes right on top. Again, pinch of salt, that's gonna touch the onions right on top. A nice generous pinch of salt. Cool. Next thing we do, this is the fun part. We take a spatula and we squish. Squish as hard as you can, flatten it out, and I want to smash it. Okay, move it over if you have to. Really smash the crap out of it. Okay, if it breaks a little, not a big deal. And this is why I only do 4, because after you, oh, got a little burnt there. After you squish these down, they take up a lot of space. They will shrink just a little. Squish, squish, squish. Okay, good. Burgers are squished. I'm gonna put a little salt on top. And we're gonna let them cook. I want everyone to remember I'm doing smash burgers, so it's not a matter of the shape. I don't really care about the shape as long as it fits on my bun, okay? And I want to try and get it as crisp as possible, and that's what's going to make this delicious. A little bit of browning on both sides. The other thing is that for the most part, these burgers are going to be well done. I don't really care if they're pink in the center. I'm not going for that. It's a super thin patty. What I'm going for is maximum brownness on the outside. That's what I want. Nice and brown on the outside. It can be cooked all the way through. The burger's still delicious. Ready to flip. Let's flip these suckers. Okay, we got a nice little browning on our onions. That one's not as brown as I'd like it to be. Flip. Oh yeah. Okay. Flip. Oh, look at that. See, that's the caramelization I'm talking about. It's a little uneven here. I push it down one more time. Yes, don't push on your meat, they say in culinary school. I'm not worried about it here. Again, here, I'm looking for maximum brownness. Okay, my burgers are almost done, so this is what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna take my cheese, and I'm gonna do 2 pieces of cheese per, because I'm a savage. And I gotta get more cheese. I gotta get more cheese. Dang it, I thought I counted it out. I didn't. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. My cheese is on my burgers. The next thing I do is this. It's controversial, okay? I did an Instagram about making these burgers. The cheese goes on the bottom. My bun goes on. That's the bottom bun, top bun. Bottom bun, top bun. My burgers, or my buns are gonna get a little steamy. My cheese is gonna melt to the bun and hold it on my bun. This way my burger doesn't squeeze out. Not only that, I'm gonna get the cheese flavor first. It also protects my burger. I was just listening to a podcast the other day. It's called The Sporkful. It's an amazing podcast, and he was talking about how the cheese goes down below. And I was vindicated. It was awesome. So we're gonna let these cook for a little longer until the cheese is melted and the buns get warm. These are done, okay? We still have a few things we have to do to them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them off. I like to take the tops and just get a little of that burger grease on there. Take them off, flip them over, put them on a plate, okay? Take my lid, get a little burger grease on there, flip it over, look at that, oh my goodness. Little burger grease, flip it over on my plate, again, little burger grease, flip it over on my plate, okay? So let's get rid of our cooktop, get our cutting board back over here and finish these up. Burgers are off the griddle. All we have to do is finish them up and then we're gonna eat. So what I like to do is I have some dill pickles. Let me just take the tops off and put them aside. Some dill pickles, look at that meat, oh my gosh. Dill pickles. 4 little slices. I had to get mini dills and I like the mini dills. They're not as kind of wet and squishy as the big dills. Okay, so 4 little dill pickles on top. Take a little bit of my delicious ketchup. I think that Emily would appreciate this. Okay, lid's back on. And we're done. That is my cheeseburger. Burger's done, let's give it a taste. Okay, first thing I can tell you, it's a little greasy on the hands and I love it because the meat juice or it soaks into the bun and it's just delicious. The onions are caramelized. I see a little bit of pickle sticking out. It's like hitting every note, right? We get a little pickly acidity, creamy cheese, the beautiful meat. The meat just tastes so much better when you do it and you grind it yourself. The bun is warm and squishy, which makes me extremely happy. And that's how I make my cheeseburger. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the little bell to get notified when we have a new video out. We try and do a new video every week. We have merch. Check the description down below. We also have a Patreon account. I want to take a moment to thank everyone that supports us on Patreon. You let us do what we love to do, is make videos about food and cooking. My patrons get the video a day early. And I hope you just enjoyed my cheeseburger. I'm Chef Frank. This is Protocooks. Thanks for watching.